Hey, can you state the first Newton's law of motion? Well, I can. That is like this. An object will remain at rest or in a uniform motion in a straight line unless acted by an external force. Well, were you also trying to remember all these laws and statements? Well, if you're doing this, then you have arrived to a really nice place and which is going to be very helpful for you. Because in this video, we are going to learn the first Newton's law of motion rather than remembering it. So hey, what's up people, this is Divyansh and welcome to my channel Learnium, where we learn and discuss with a lot of fun. So, Newton's law of motion. Well, let me tell you in the beginning only that these laws are one of the easiest things to study and learn. So now, let's learn the first Newton's law of motion with a practical example. Okay, so now what we are going to do? Well, here I have one toy with me. Well, I am using this because it's kind of spongy so that if I throw it, it will not break. So that's why I am using this. So now what I will do, I will keep this here just for a few minutes and we will observe that what will happen to this toy after a few minutes. So let's do it. So after a few minutes, we can clearly observe that this object is at the same position. So initially also it was at rest and right now also it is at the rest. So in order to move this object, I actually have to apply some force like this. Okay, so let's bring it back. Okay, so it is back now, but you were wondering that why I showed you all these things. Well, we can conclude one important thing from this example, which is like this. So if an object is at rest, it will remain at rest until and unless an external unbalanced force is applied to it. So you got that if I will not apply the force on this object, then this object will continuously remain at rest. But before few lines, I use one new term. Did you notice that? Well, it is unbalanced force. I said that an object is at rest that will remain at rest until and unless an external unbalanced force is applied to it. So now you will ask that, hey, what is unbalanced force? Well, it is very easy thing. So let's just suppose that I have an object here and now someone applies, let's say, a 5 Newton force from this direction and the another person also applies the same force from this direction, which is 5 Newton. Well, Newton is the unit of force and we will get to that topic maybe in the another video, but right now you can keep in mind that Newton is a unit of force. So here we have an object and two forces which are equal in magnitude, 5 Newton here and 5 Newton here. So you can actually see that these forces are going to get cancelled and these forces are actually called balanced force because both the forces are equal in magnitude. But in the case when these both forces are not equal, then we call it a unbalanced force. So till now you are concerned that an object will remain at rest until and unless an external unbalanced force is applied to it. So you can apply the same thing in the case of motion. So what this is going to be? Yes, very simple. So if an object is in motion, then it will remain in motion until and unless an external force is applied to it. Hey wait, I forgot something. Yes, an external unbalanced force is applied to it. So we have to keep these little things in our mind because that really matters. So now our toy is back. So now what we are going to do, we have already seen the example when the object was at the rest. So now what we are going to do, we will just throw this object in the air and then we will see that what is going to happen. So let's do it. So what I have actually done now, I have just thrown the object up in the air and then suddenly it returned on the ground. Well, I'm not sure that you can see that object on the ground, but trust me that it is actually on the ground right now. Can you please tell me that which force was acting on this object? Yes, the gravitational force was acting on this object, and therefore within a few seconds it returned on the ground. So initially that object was in motion, but some forces were acting on it, so therefore it returns to ground and comes to rest. So you can imagine that if there was no force acting on that object, then that object would continuously remain in motion. So this was only the first law of motion, which is like this. So if an object is at rest, then it will remain at rest, or if an object is in motion, then it will remain in motion and will travel in a straight line until and unless an external unbalanced force is applied on it. So thank you very much for watching my video. I hope that you all liked it, and please subscribe to my channel because I will soon upload the video on second and third law of motion. And not only this, there are so many interesting topics which you can learn from my channel in the upcoming days. So please make sure that you subscribe to my channel, and see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.